All right, hey there everyone, it's Ethan Garr, and it's time for Good Question. Great growth teams ask the right questions to challenge and inspire each other all of the time. So each week, I'm going to share one good question to help you and your team improve how you approach and drive growth in your business. So let's jump right into it. This week's good question is, should we test that? A few weeks ago, my co-host of the Breakout Growth Podcast, Sean Ellis, and I were chatting about our days at Uproar.com years ago. We were talking about how anytime me or anyone else on our marketing team would ask Sean, what do you think of this idea or that idea? He would say, I don't know, just test it. Now that is a good approach to get people to realize that ideas are just guesses and that it's experiments that turn those guesses into facts and learnings. And certainly when you're trying to push the limits of high tempo testing, more is a good thing. But Sean and I have come to realize that there is a balance here, and therefore it's really important to be discerning when it comes to deciding, should we test that? Yes, you can turn just about any idea into a test, but should you? Nobody knows which test is going to drive 10x improvement in the business, but some areas of your business have a lot more leverage than others. So some ideas just don't have as much potential impact as others. We should give everyone on the team room to come up with ideas, and we should celebrate and encourage them, but not every one of those ideas should become a test. The thinking goes that if you're testing faster than your competitor, you're going to spin your flywheel faster and you're going to win. But in practice, it isn't that simple. The first problem is that it is really hard to build momentum when you are simultaneously running experiments broadly across your growth engine. Most growth teams build momentum by focusing on one high leverage area of the business at a time. And realistically, most teams can only run so many tests at once before they start getting sloppy. I wrote an entire article on how to screw up an experiment, and most of what I describe can be traced back to over-indexing on speed. Poorly considered hypotheses, tests overlapping each other, problems with bad test design or data, and so on. That is what happens when you get ahead of your skis. And finally, I think the just test it mindset can actually invite laziness into your testing process. We want to be rigorous in prioritizing the right tests, but if everything is going to be a test, then what's the incentive to do the research and hard work to really evaluate the potential impact and value ahead of time? So ask this question because the pie can only be sliced so many ways. You want to use your resources wisely, so give your team the space to say that some ideas have more potential than others. And ask this question because crappy tests are a distraction from the good ones that power learnings and meaningful impact. And finally, ask this question to encourage your team to support their ideas with research and critical thinking. Ultimately, when it comes to testing, impact is what matters. Did the experiments drive outcomes or not? It is certainly worthwhile for growth teams to work to increase their testing velocity, and it feels really good to run a lot of tests, but you only get points for results. On the Breakout Growth Podcast, we interviewed Morgan Brown, who's driven growth at Instagram, Facebook, and Shopify, and he summed it up really well. He said, it's important to move fast, but you want to move like a Formula One car, not like a runaway train. So challenge each other with this question, should we test that? It'll put the emphasis on doing what matters most instead of trying to do too much all at once. It'll help promote more diligence in your testing process, and it'll help you find that balance between high tempo testing and high impact testing. And that is a winning formula. Well, look, we like to keep these things short, and that's all the time we've got. So thanks everyone for tuning in. I am Ethan Garr, and I'll be back again next week with another episode of Good Question. Hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, please follow me on LinkedIn. I love sharing actionable insights to help you and your team accelerate growth. See you next week.